Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Red Devil Stand with all the latest Manchester United news. So, yeah, it is going to be a match preview show, against Arsenal with Manchester United. So, yeah, we will definitely talk about that, and as usual, it's going to be a massive show. So, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe and make sure to smash that like button. So, anyway, before we jump right into our preview section, I would like to talk about something that came out today regarding Erik Ten Hag. An interview came out today with Sky. He have done that. So regarding the interview, it is quite crucial, it is quite critical, it is quite optimistic, it is quite realistic and all that stuff. So obviously we will talk about that. So the first thing he was talking, he was asked about multiple things, regarding our midfield situation, regarding our squad, regarding the future of our squad, and how much can we expect out of our squad and all that stuff. So the first thing was Erik Ten Hag on our way of play up till now. And he said, I have already seen a lot of games in the Premier League. None of the team are in the right shape and the right form. That is normal at the start of the season. Everything has to settle into improve, and that is our job as manager. We have got to improve our attitude, our resilience, and our determination. The way we did really dominate against Forest with 90% possession at times, so we pinned them back, and even though they were very compact, we created many chances. See, he's quite right about the fact that, we had 90% possession with the in that Forest game, but the thing is that Forest have scored 2 goals in that very first 5 minutes. So yeah, we were 2 down. Even before that, we reached that 5 minutes mark. So obviously they parked the bus. The Nottingham Forest definitely parked the bus, and we were able to keep that 90% possession. But the one thing he have said that, so we pinned them back, and even though they were very compact, we created many chances, and that is quite important. It is absolutely crucial to our next game, because see, I don't know how many of you guys have seen that today's match, Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. Nottingham Forest again scored an early goal, and then the way they defended, they were quite impact, and Chelsea was unable to find a gap to make that score, in their favor. They lost that match 1-0 in their own home at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea lost today, Nottingham Forest 1-0. So the thing he's saying that we pinned them back, and even though they were impact, we were able to score goals. That is quite important, because see, the thing is that in this season we are going to see some teams, teams such as Nottingham Forest, teams such as Crystal Palace, teams such as maybe Brentford, absolutely Brentford. Those are the teams. They flourishes on that counter-attacking part. They will park the bus, and they will absolutely wait out for that particular moment when they can have a proper bite force, which is obviously in a very counter-attacking way. They will not have the lion's share of possession. Absolutely not. Clubs like us, clubs like Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Newcastle even, those other teams will have the major share of possession when it comes to clubs versus, Nottingham Forest club versus Crystal Palace clubs versus maybe Luton Town, Brentford. So yeah, we will have to make sure when a team parks their bus, we will have to create some gaps, and we will have to, we have to have that ability to score goals on those kind of situations. And Erik Ten Hag, on the way we wanted to play. And I want to put up 2 facts before I gave you the quotation regarding this subject, that on winning possession on the final third area of the pitch, on that particular area, on that particular ability, Manchester United is number 1 with 29. 29 times Manchester United win the possession on that final third of the pitch. Yeah, we are not number 1, on our point basis, but we are number 1 on that particular sector. And also, when it comes to pressed sequences, we are also number 1. What does pressed sequence means? It means the number of times we consecutively press a team. We have pressed 1 time, then we have got back, and let them play a bit, and then we are going again to press. That is not consecutive pressing. That is not press sequence. Press sequence means we are pressing them, we lose the ball, then again, just a moment later, we start pressing again. And on that sector as well, Manchester United is number one. And he was asked if that is the way he wanted his team to play. And he said, absolutely, I want my team to press. We recovered a lot of balls very high up the field. It is a part of the game that we know well. In the transition, we can do better, because when you have that many high recoveries, you have to take advantage of. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. See, the thing is that we have seen that we have struggled scoring goal against Wolves. We haven't scored a single goal against Tottenham, which should not have been the case. We should have secured at least 2 goals on that first half against Tottenham Hotspur. That should have been the case. But we have seen we were failed to score goals. We were failed to convert the possession we have gathered on that final third area of the pitch, which should not be the case. Which should absolutely not be the case. We should be converting those chances, because even on creating chances, Manchester United is number one. We are the team who have created the most chances, but the conversion rate is absolutely shit, and that needs to change. There is not a doubt about that our conversion rate needs to change, especially what you have said, because when you have that many high recoveries, you have to take advantage of, and that is quite spot on. Absolutely. Then he was asked why pressing is so important for him, and he said, why is pressing important to me? To keep control of a match, to dominate an opponent, the pressing must be good. It is not always necessary to be high on the pitch. There is moments when you can be doing that on the middle of the pitch, and also it can be lower, very low part of the pitch as well. But our team has the ability to do that and also be a threat when we win it low. So yeah, obviously he's talking about the counter-attacking situation. When we win the possession on that very, very low part of the pitch, our bottom line of the pitch, we have that lethality that we can convert goals from those situations as well. And we have seen that happening over and over again, especially on the last season we had. How many goals we have scored from that counter-attacking situation? Obviously, we can be lethal on a counter-attacking situation as well. Yeah, we can win the balls on that final third area of the pitch. That will always keep the pressure, of our to our rivals, whoever the team may be. But winning the balls in the midfield area or even in the lower part of the area is as much important, because as we all know, we have some players like Rashford, players like Haaland now, players like Anthony, who possess tremendous speed. The speed they possess is absolutely mind-numbing, and we need to use that at times. And you know why I like this interview so much? Because I'm pretty sure that you guys want to dissect every one of our match, technically. I love the technicality of football, and that is the only thing he is going to talk about in this interview. He has talked about in this interview. And that is the main reason I like this so much. I hope you guys are enjoying that. Because see, as I've said, our manager Erik ten Hag is quite technical. We have seen that on every other aspect. Whether it's our play style, whether it's choosing our squad and everything. He trusts on the numbers. The numbers does not lie, and he knows that, and I know that, and I'm pretty sure you guys know that as well. And then he said, but in my approach, I always want to be able to give something to the fans. We want to dominate our opponents. We want to play proactive, dynamic football. Pressing is part of that. Possession also has to be good. See, the thing is that we have seen that we are trying to keep the possession. Yeah, obviously that will not be the case in our next match, which we will be talking about, just after a few minutes. I will get into the match preview section versus Arsenal. But match against teams like, Nottingham Forest, as I was just saying, teams against Wolves, teams against Crystal Palace, teams against Brentford or Luton Town, those teams, they will not come out and attack us all the time. They will be deep into their territory, and we will have to get in there. We will have to create chances and create gaps and convert those chances. Most importantly, the most important part is we need to convert the chances we are creating. That is absolutely paramount. And next he was asked about on past record on the midfield balance. See, the thing is that we have already seen just a couple of weeks ago, I guess, yeah, after our second match, that yeah, we were all criticizing our midfield. Even the press conference Erik ten Hag have had, he was asked about that midfield area. Why is it so imbalanced? Why they are so vulnerable? Why they are getting run down in every other time? And he said, when we play with Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno, we have a lot of success. And you know what? He's quite right about that. He's absolutely right about the fact that when we play with Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno, we are the most successful. And you know why? Statistically, United got 42 points out of 51 in Premier League games while using that trio. So yeah, when we use Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno, we have achieved 42 points out of 51, and that is quite impressive. That is absolutely an impressive sector of our gameplay. I know that Eriksen at times can be vulnerable. He does not possess that kind of physicality. We need, especially when we are playing teams against Arsenal or maybe Tottenham or maybe Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, clubs like that. But statistically, we have gotten a huge chunk of point when we have selected those three players. He said the midfield may have been exposed, but it's not necessarily the midfield's fault. It was a collective problem. We analyzed and we showed the team where the problem was. It had to do from the back by squeezing and had to do from the front by late responding or not responding at all. We got to act as a team. Not all the players lived up to the standards that are supposed to do. We have been working in that a lot over the last 2 weeks. We have to improve, especially against Arsenal, who have a high quality team. When you are not well organized, you will get problems. And we have to avoid such problems by doing the right stuff, and we have to make demand more from the players. And see, this is quite interesting. At the same time, it is interesting, and at the same time, it is quite concerning because, see, even on those preseason matches, I remember clearly, I can't remember after which match it was, but Erik ten Hag definitely mentioned about the fact that the players, there are some players on that field who are not following his instructions, the instructions he has given them, to make the match even more interesting, to make the match even more, what should I say, compatible with the other players and all such things, which were missing, which were definitely missing from many of our players. So yeah, that is absolutely, something we need to be concerned about. I'm pretty sure that yeah, there will be, and see, that is the main reason. I do think, I have mentioned that earlier in our previous sessions, that believe me, it hurts me to say this. It definitely hurts me to say this, but there will be times in this very season when we will get run down, when we will have to, when we will get bantered by some of the teams, teams such as Liverpool, the way we have seen in our previous year, when Brentford, lost win against us for 4-0, when Brighton win against us 4-0, when Liverpool win against us 7-0, when City won against us 6-3. I'm pretty sure that will be the case in some of the matches. I am counting on that it will be very few of the matches that yeah, we will get run down, but I do think that there is something to get concerned about, and Erik ten Hag is clearly concerned about that fact. He is quite concerned about that fact because this is the second time he is saying that players were not up to the task. They weren't following his instructions, the instructions they have given them, so that the match can go as smooth as possible. And the next question he was asked on the way he wants the players to play. He said, how quickly can players pick up my rules? It's not easy. Is that the reason why I bring in former players? Yes. It is quite interesting. He said, how quickly can players pick up my rules? It's not easy. Is that the reason why I bring in former players? Yes, how many times we have talked about that Erik ten Hag choosing his former players, Erik ten Hag signing his former players, and at last we know the reason why. But every situation is different, he says. I wasn't playing same way at Utrecht as at Ajax, and I don't play the same way at Manchester United as at Ajax. what is the identity of the club, what is the quality of the players, and then you bring your own ideas and it's a mix. So obviously, see, there were times, when we were playing in our preseason matches, when we had the last 3 matches in Premier League, and we talked about the fact that why haven't we seen the gameplay he used to play at Ajax? And you know why? See, if you rewind a bit, not a bit, a lot more than a bit. If you go, from around the time of 70s, 80s, you can see that it has an identity that's been consistent around the club Ajax when it comes to youth development, when it comes to recruitment, when it comes to style of play. It's a philosophy of Ajax that matters the most, and that have been consistent. The philosophy they run the club with, it has been consistent. Obviously, Manchester United have had our own philosophy when we were run by Sir Alex Ferguson, but that got shattered the moment David Moyes came in. He changed every other system there was to make change, and that was the same with Louis van Gaal. That was the same with Jose Mourinho. That was the same with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So obviously, absolutely, Erik ten Hag have to create his chances. Erik ten Hag have to create his own philosophy over the game. As he has said earlier, in one of his press interviews, that I have a foundation this season. He needed to build a foundation when he joined the club. There wasn't a built foundation. There are some of fans who will compare Erik ten Hag to Pep Guardiola, but they forgot one thing. Obviously, when Pep Guardiola joins Manchester City, he have improved them so much. There is not an ounce of doubt about that. But were they already, a set team? Yes, they were. Was there a foundation already in a place? Absolutely, there was. Which is not the case with Erik ten Hag. He haven't got a proper foundation. In fact, he got the historically worst side ever in a Premier League in Manchester United. We have finished with 57 points, and that was our record low. And that was the team he inherited while he joined our club. So obviously, it will take some time. It is going to take some time, after we see some results coming in favor of us. He says, I remember well at the start of my second season with Utrecht, it was very difficult. Part of it was losing many players. We got to build in the new players, and it was the same at Ajax when we lost the likes of Frankie de Jong, and that was not easy. See, it may not have been the case that, when he came to Manchester United and in his second season right now, he haven't lost many players, especially he haven't lost any of the players he wanted. But he couldn't get rid of the players he didn't wanted, couldn't get all the players he wanted, then he can't have an impact. So man, obviously he haven't lost anyone. See, if in his category, if Casemiro is his favorite, if Martinez players like Varane, Rashford, Anthony, Wan-Bissaka, or even Andre Onana, he haven't lost any of those players. Not Onana is a new signing, but other than Onana, those are the players he haven't lost. But he wanted to get rid of players like Harry Maguire, wanted to get rid players of like Eric Bailly, Scott McTominay, Van de Beek, maybe Anthony Martial, but he wasn't able to do those all kinds of things as well. He haven't lost anyone, but the players he wanted to lose, that happened either. That didn't happen either. And he wasn't being able to find the players he wanted. See, in the month of January, he wanted Gakpo. He didn't get him. He wanted Amrabat on the month of January. He didn't get him. He wanted Gravenberch in this season, and Liverpool have gone out, put on a 40 million euro deal, and they have secured him. That Gravenberch deal is a replica of that Gakpo deal. Exactly the replica. He wanted some player. We didn't have the money. We didn't back our manager. But you know who have gotten that backup from their owners? Jurgen Klopp. And both the times, he even wanted Darwin Núñez as well. So there are many players, many players, not 1, 2, or 3. There are at least 7, 8, 9 players who we weren't able to secure for Erik ten Hag, and those players have joined our rival teams in English Premier League. Maybe Kim Min-jae ended up in Bayern Munich, And what the irony is that we will be facing Bayern Munich in our first UCL match. So yeah, again there is a player we will be facing who should have been ours, but the lack of backup we have got from our owners, the player is will be playing against us, and that is one thing we absolutely need to keep in our mind while we criticize Erik ten Hag. I am not saying that all the faults are, we will have to, that all the bad things that are happening is because of the Glazers. Yeah, it is because of the Glazers. But sometimes we need to criticize the manager. We need to criticize our players as well. But there are some hard facts that he haven't been backed up the way he should have. He says every season is difficult at the start. In the meantime, it's about getting points on the board. We need to gather points from the start, and from there you build belief and confidence, and then you will see the games go smoother and better when you go further into the process. I absolutely love his statement regarding this. Obviously, it is going to be difficult, especially if you haven't got the players you wanted. But it is going to get smoother. It is going to get a bit easier, when we go a bit deeper into the season. And you know what? Regarding all the quotations that came out today from Sky Sports interview, it looked to me that it was, a defiant Erik ten Hag. It was an optimistic Erik ten Hag. It was a resilient Erik ten Hag. It was an informative Erik ten Hag, but also a very realistic Erik ten Hag as well. He knows the reality. Yeah, he can dream about winning all the trophies. Obviously, we are not the only one, dreaming about Manchester United winning trophies. Our players are dreaming that. Our manager is dreaming that. But he knows his feet are still on the ground. He can be optimistic. He can be realistic at the same time as well. And that is exactly what Erik ten Hag, shows us. And that is absolutely brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. Please, guys, do let me know your comment in this particular section. Pujay Singh, keep it up. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you guys for joining the chat. Let me check the poll. So 22 votes and 86% of you guys thinks that Manchester United wins. Absolutely, man. Gautam is saying put Amrabat in the team against Arsenal tomorrow. Man, that is not going to happen. We weren't able to register him, at the proper time, because according to some Premier League rules, you need to register your players within some allotted times who will be playing in the coming games, which we were not able to do regarding Sofian Amrabat. But we can see Sergio Reguilon or even Johnny Evans and the all-time Bayern Munich, all of those three players will be included on that squad against Arsenal. So yeah, we have talked about the Erik ten Hag interview, and now we will have our Arsenal preview session. So right away, I will give you my starting 11. I will give you that. For me, the goalkeeper would be Andre Onana. The centre back pair would be Martinez and Lindelof. Right back, obviously, Wan-Bissaka. Left back is up for grab. I do think that, as far as I have understood Erik ten Hag, that Diogo Dalot may end up getting the start, because we all know that Reguilon, he has trained with us, as Erik ten Hag have mentioned in his last interview. But I do not think that he have got enough time to get compatible with our team. So keeping that particular scenario in my mind, I do think that, Diogo Dalot may end up getting that first team position on that left back area. But it is quite worrisome, because as a left back, he would be facing Saka, and he is dangerous. He is lethal. The bite force Saka possesses, man, oh man. He's a fantastic player. He's a brilliant player. And if Diogo Dalot starts on that position, I am already seeing that he will get run down, and Arsenal will identify our weak link on that back foot, and they will try to capitalize on that situation, and that does worry me a bit. So keeping all of those things in mind, I do think that Erik ten Hag will choose Diogo Dalot, but in my opinion, Reguilon should get the start, because at the very least, he's a proper left back. He knows what to do on that area. And obviously, our midfield trio would be Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. As we all know, Mason Mount is injured, and Amrabat will not get selected. And I'm pretty sure Erik ten Hag will not choose McTominay over Eriksen. So yeah, I do think Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. In our right wing, it will be Anthony. On left wing, Rashford, and as striker, it will be Martial. Though I think on our right flank, especially on that right flank area, I really think Sancho should get the start. I really do hope so. But as I know Eric Ten Hag very well, he will opt for Anthony. He may change that, maybe on that half-time area, or maybe on that 68th minute or 70th minute, we may see some changes happening on that front three of our area. But I do not see Sancho getting the start. But I do hope Sancho gets the start over Anthony. Please do let me know your first 11 on the comment section, guys. Shashwati is saying, I love Manchester United so much that I feel helpless. I just want to see Manchester United succeed. I love Manchester United more than ever, but I want a new owner. The current owners are giants. Selfish giants. Not only giants. Our current owners are the selfish giants. A hardcore definition of selfish giants. So yeah, I do get your frustration, Shashwati. But the thing is that, we needed some players. Eric Ten Hag haven't been back the level he should have been back, but there are some positive notions regarding this very season. Yeah, we have secured some of our players. Eric Ten Hag wanted players such as Mason Mount, players such as Andre Onana, players such as Sofian Amrabat, and Rasmus Højlund as well. And those are the players that gives us a little bit of hope. So let's see what happens. And you know what? If you ask me, I do think, there are people out there, in social media who are saying that Manchester United will get bashed over at Arsenal. Yeah, that may happen. I'm not saying it is absolutely out of the realm of possibility. It can happen, but I do not think that will be the case. Because let's not forget, we have put up a proper fight last year against Arsenal, and we didn't have Casemiro on that squad. And we will have Casemiro in this one. So yeah, that is a proper plus point for me. And I do hope that Arteta will opt for that midfield trio of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Odegaard. You know why? I do like that midfield trio for us, not for Arsenal. Because the weakling over there is Kai Havertz. Every time he select Declan Rice, the only defensive mid, and two attacking mid on that position, there is a huge probability they get run down pretty easily. It was an area he didn't need to twitch, but he did anyway. And in case of Eric Ten Hag, it is the case as well with Mason Mount. I do think when it comes to those kind of things, and with regards of Eric Ten Hag and people like Mikel Arteta, I do think that they are thinking about the bigger picture. They're thinking about the future of that squad, and they're trying to make something happen. Obviously, we will not see that up front, but we will start seeing that change, in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming matches. Sanjay Singh, who have voted for Arsenal, I don't know. Maybe some Arsenal fans have joined us. We need Amrabat in the midfield and Højlund. As I have said, Amrabat will not be available. Yeah, Højlund is available, but I do not see him starting the match. Shubhajit is saying Amrabat should be in, Anthony out, and start with Martial and Rashford in both wings. Martial and Rashford in wings. Rashford in wings is fine. I do not see Martial, playing on that right wing flank. Maybe he can do a job, a decent job, but I do not see that happening, Shubhajit. Prandolika is saying, hope Højlund will feature tomorrow. I hope so, that as well, man. I do hope so. I do hope he gets the start, I do hope he gets the start. But in my opinion, we will see, Anthony Martial getting the start rather than Eric Ten Hag opting for Rasmus Højlund. Rian is saying we don't want anything less than 3 points. Absolutely, man. See, the thing is that this is going to be a very season-defining game. In my opinion, it is going to be a very season-defining game. And you know why? If we win the match, there is 3 points for us. If we draw 1 point and lose, there would be none. So if we win the match, it would be 9 out of 12 points, which is absolutely impressive. Yeah, we should have at least, brought out a draw on that Tottenham match, which we haven't done. So there is no point talking about that. But if we do manage to, win against Arsenal, that would be massive. That would be a season-defining moment for us. That would be fantastic. But if we even end up getting a draw, that would be good as well. That would be reasonable. That we will be getting 7 points out of 12, which is not very good, but we still manage to to drop 2 points for Arsenal as well. But if we lose the match, that would be absolutely shambolic. The position we would be if we lose the match, That would be absolutely shambolic, man. That would be a season defining moment as well, but in a very, very negative way, in my opinion. Osman is saying this Sergio signing is a big, big risk. Just the idea of Daniel Levy not interfering says it all. Get well soon, Malasia and Shaw. Oh my God, Osman. You have put up a good point. See, as I've said, that I would prefer Reguilon over Cucurella, but Cucurella was the one who Eric Ten Hag preferred. Let's not forget the only reason we didn't get Cucurella or even Marcos Alonso, because we needed, that particular rule on that clause that we can break the clause, we can break the loan deal in the month of January, which Chelsea weren't, complying with us regarding Cucurella, and Barcelona wouldn't have complied with us ever on that kind of deal, on that kind of silly deal. Then what Osman have pointed out, that the less that absolutely Daniel Levy wasn't reluctant at all to make that deal happen, and that shows you a bit. We are technically, no disrespect to Sergio Reguilon, but we technically are accepting a Tottenham reject, and that is not a very good spin. That is not a very good spin to our squad, that we are potentially getting a Tottenham reject. Man, oh man. Shreyans is saying, Osman, this guy is below average and a flop. Maguire will be better option in left back than him. Okay, Shreyans. Shenjuti is saying, Sofian Amrabat is equal to Batman. Van Bissaka Spider. Victor Lindelof Iceman. Hoyland Superman. Fernandes Ant-Man. Casemiro Aquaman. Rashford Doctor Man. Martinez Butcher Man. Eriksen Best Man. Onana Fisherman. Okay. Shomo is saying tomorrow is the day, bring on United. Absolutely, man. I am so much excited about tomorrow's game. Tomorrow's game would be absolutely crucial. So any of you guys are new to the channel, please to notify that we will be covering our live watch along of that Manchester United versus Arsenal game. So if you are interested in that, please to join us in our session and make sure to subscribe our channel as well. Gurpreet is saying, "Arey bhai, ye kaun?" I don't know, man. Official Manchester United UCL games. Yeah, man, we will talk about that. We will have another session regarding that UCL section. I do not want to, bunch all of those stuff all together. Steve is saying Manchester United travelling squad to face Arsenal. Goalkeeper Bayern Runana, Vitek, defense Dalot, Evans, Lindelof, Maguire, Martinez, Reguilon, Van Bissaka, midfield Casemiro, Eriksen, Hannibal, Fernandes, Gore, forward Anthony, Hoyland, Garnacho, Martial, Rashford, Pelistri. Yeah, brother. Swallows. Where is Sancho? Yeah, where is Sancho? Seriously? Shivani is saying, I'm worried for Sancho. Indrojit is saying, Moises Caicedo versus Forest. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 chances created, 0 crosses, 0 tackles, 1-0 accurate crosses, 0 aerial duels, one mistake leading to goal, 115 million. 2 can play this game. Yeah, man. As I've said, there are people out there who will only bash Mason Mount, but there were players who haven't done anything with their teams regarding their massive price. So yeah, bashing Mason Mount would do us no good whatsoever, and that is the only reason I do think that Mason Mount should come back and should come back even stronger. Daisy saying impressive, what an incredible performance from the so-called British most expensive signing of all time. Taramoni is saying second Maguire, Chelsea have been signed. Ha ha. Rather, no, I do think that, they will get accustomed to the gameplay, but I have never trusted Pochettino. When we got linked, when there was a question up for grab that whether it would be Pochettino or Eric Ten Hag as our new Manchester United manager, and I still remember that there were some pundits, there were some our ex-legends who were opting for Pochettino because he was Premier League proven. What have he proven in Premier League? I mean, see, what exactly have he proven in Premier League? That he's a shitty manager? I guess that is the one thing he has proven. And the match, I can remember it specifically, the match Pochettino lost every respect from me. And that match was that UCL final against Liverpool. They were 1-0 down and they were playing defensively. There is no second leg of the final, Pochettino. Come on, wake up. You wake up and you wake up your team, man. Why would you opt to play a defensive gameplay on a final of UCL when you are 1-0 down? If it was 0-0 or 1-1, bro, I would have still, gotten that they want to drag out the game and they want that penalty to happen. But when you're 1-0 down, there is no point of being, in a defensive manner, especially on a game like UCL final. Rajdeep is saying FIFA should introduce price caps on players' sale and fees paid in the period of the contract, that is 8 years in Caicedo case. Based on performances, the buying clubs should be cushioned against such sport washing practices. Okay, man. They have found a proper loophole, man, Chelsea. Shondipan is saying, let's focus on our games, not Chelsea FC games, please. That is a good point as well, Shondipan. Elanga scores against Chelsea, debut goal before Modric. Yeah, man, absolutely, Tanya. You are quite spot on about that. Jerry is saying, Man United have decided to punish Chelsea. Elanga. Okay, man. Our agent is doing a great job. Sholoana, Andre Onana, Sufian Amrabat. What are you saying, man? Oh, went shopping in Syria, Italy. Yeah, we have shopped a bit from, Italian league. I must say that. And I love that because England players are overrated. Absolutely, brother. The Italian connection. Yeah, the Italian job it would be. Tulipo. Best left back in the league after Luke Shaw and Malacia, Sergio Reguilon. Okay. What if we're saying who was a bench player at Spurs? Only is saying Pranam. He's better than Malacia. See, the thing is that I know that you can bash Reguilon, but he's the player we have ended up with, so we have to back him up right now and hope that he will put up a decent performance at the very least. And you know what? I will remember you guys. If you please, if you have forgotten, I would like to remind you, please do smash that like button if you are enjoying the show, and please do subscribe as well. So there have been 44 votes and 93% of you guys think that, Manchester will win the match. Good to see that. Adam is saying, Alvaro Fernandez is better than him or Malacia and should never have been sent on loan. As I said, Adam, in our last session today, in our afternoon session, let's see, with Reguilon, we do still have, Diogo Dalot and Luke Shaw and Malacia will come back eventually. So I think Eric Ten Hag didn't wanted to waste any time for Alvaro Fernandez. He wanted him to get some pitch time, which he wouldn't have gotten if he decided to stay at Manchester United. So I guess, he have joined Granada, and if he can manage some pitch time over there, that would be absolutely fantastic, man. Shubhajit is saying, honored his contract while he was still under heavy investigation, covering more than 50% of his salary at Getafe, sent him out on loan to rediscover his form and avoid the media backlash. Never gave out his jersey number 11, but I am meant to believe Manchester United didn't handle the Mason Greenwood case properly or showed any form of support for a guy who nearly threw his own career away. Okay, man? The club could have handled it better. It's the lack of communication with the fans and how the fans were left to speculate the whole time about it. This should have never been a footballing decision. If he was a struggling youth player, United would have let him go and paid off his contract. But because he has a value, United rethinking about it, which is sad. Yeah, absolutely. It is all about the money when it comes to Manchester United. Ritesh is saying, please, this issue should be put to less. The club has taken the decision and we have all gotten used to it. Shunanda is saying, we now properly understand the idea behind the decision. We wish him best of luck. Sorry, I lost the comments. Bongo is saying, if this guy plays for Manchester United again, then I will officially salute the code. Okay, man. I know that you are talking about Greenwood, brother. Prithviraj is saying, this whole situation about Greenwood should be long gone by now. We have more important things to focus on. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. There is no point talking about Mason Greenwood anymore. He is Getafe's headache now. He is Getafe's problem now. Yeah, so they should deal about that. Jim is saying, well, since he's now on loan to Getafe FC, there is every possibility that he can still play for United. Yeah, there is a still possibility. He's technically still a United player now. Only is saying United has been good to Greenwood. He was not sent by the washers. He will be back at United someday soon. I have much respect for them trying to save his career. I have to say they are heading in the right direction, whether they keep him now or not. But that is a good thing that they did, because everybody needs a second chance sometime in life. If it was Maguire in his place, now I am sure the Glazers wouldn't think it twice to reinstate him back into the first team. Argue with you, keep it if you like, yeah, man. Lovely saying Manchester United is like a mother to Greenwood. Upon all the happening, Greenwood still in United heart. Yeah, absolutely. Shoptami is saying, woke up and remembered. A five-time UCL winner Casemiro, a World Cup semi-finalist Amrabat, UEFA Nations League winner Bruno, one-time UCL winner Mount, a born survivor Eriksen, academic players, academy heritage Kobe Mainu, Mabry, McTominay will be handling our midfield. I couldn't help but smile. Not McTominay. I can't put up a smile when it comes to Scott McTominay. Sorry, Shoptami. Yagasen is saying, also academy heritage Rashford and Garnacho. Absolutely, we should not forget about those players as well. Shondute is saying, good one, Casemiro and Amrabat behind Bruno. Let's see the combo. Mainu plus Amrabat are the one I am looking forward to this season. Saying Shormila, an American tourist Mount, 2 times Chelsea player of the year and also an UCL winner as well. Mount pocketed an UCL as well in a very young age also. So there have been 50 votes and 94% of you guys thinks it is that, Manchester United is going to win. Yeah, absolutely. See, the thing is that there are some players, I guess, Timber is out injured, and I guess, Thomas Partey have gotten injured as well and out for 3 months, and I do not think that Gabriel Jesus will get the start against, tomorrow against Manchester United. So there are some plus points. We are not the only one facing with injury bullshit. They are the ones as well, and we absolutely should capitalize on that particular scenario. We need something new. We definitely need something new. We need that, Rasmus Højlund element, the fire he possesses, the what should I say, the secrecy, the technique, the unknown technique of Rasmus Højlund, what he will be, what he's going to do wearing that United shirt. That is an element of surprise for Arsenal, which I guess they are worried about as well, because that is a player, he is quite young, but he's absolutely a beast. He has that physicality, he has that speed, he has that ability to control that centre back area, and I do hope that he will get a substantial amount of time. And you know what? If we see it properly, if we dissect our previous matches properly, you will see whenever Manchester United end up scoring the first goal, we are quite comfortable with the match. We are always comfortable with the match. In the matches, we score first. So I do think we should score first tomorrow and, capitalize our situation on that, capitalize on the situation that Arsenal will get nervous if they concede first. So I do think that is absolutely paramount. If we are going to get even a single point out of that game, we do need to score first. Eric is saying, please remove Mount here. I'm not saying that, I guess from that 2 times Chelsea player you are saying about that. Yeah, because Mount will not be playing tomorrow. Good luck, Greenwood. Focus on football and your home life. Stay away from the bars and other. Okay, Ricky. Thank you for letting us know that. So anyway, guys, this was the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we will obviously we will come tomorrow as well live at our 4 p.m. show. And I will see you guys there. And if you have enjoyed the show, please make sure to smash that like button. And if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe and help us reach that 175 subscriber mark. And if you are new to the channel, please do remember that we will be covering that live watch along Manchester United versus Arsenal. So yeah, please do make sure to join us on that session as well. Pooja is showing some love. Thank you so much, Pooja, for all of your love and support, and all of you guys for all of your love and support. And as always, kudos to you guys. Absolutely kudos to you guys. Good night, goodbye, and take care. And I will see you tomorrow at our 4 p.m. show.